I think we could all expect that this was going to happen. Kingen is the best anti-Mundo, or one of the better anti-Mundos.
You know, an Ignite lost, and a pretty aggressive attempt from Becca and Bao there to trade something back. Okay, here comes an all-in at 6.
Yep, looking for it. Ulti comes down. That's the flick back and a very, very swift and comfortable first blood for Chieftain. Welcome to the for a play onto that one.
He's coming, and they do have vision of this, but I don't think it's going to help them escape, sadly.
Ooh, Hook is going to miss, unfortunately, as Bao throws out the Moonlight Vigil. Doesn't really do too much as Lava's looking to make his way in as well. And here's the dive. Ulti comes through from Lava, doesn't land it onto the Aphelios, but it does not matter. They have easily enough damage, despite that turret really ramping up on the nameplates on. And you're like, well, it's still Fredit Brion, and they've struggled to utilize compositions in the past. They've had moments of brilliance, though, and I think that, you know, as a gentleman whose cup is also often half full, Wolf, I like to believe.
Or Ocean. So, could be pretty nice or just okay, depending on the situation, as Arrow comes in.
Yeah. It's actually going to be soaked by the Watch Out Eep. I like it, but Flick is still going to connect, and there's the Shockwave out onto Chieftain. Solka still looking for the damage as Becca's hook is fantastic. Delight finds a couple of charms there as Lava has the sword out and does manage to lock down 2 kills with the help of Henna there as well. But now Kingen's going to make his way in, and Bao's getting fed off the back end. It's a double, make it a triple for the Gnar, as Kingen's going to take control.
Bought enough time for the teleport to actually be relevant, as Kingen's going to get this turret cold as well. Yikes. That's an naturally in Korea since the new patch and all that and the new items. It's definitely what you'd expect to see, and that is what we see here. Lava with a nice
teleport coming through. Yeah, you can see Hoya's going to make his way in. Arrow's going to connect as that's a big stun. Couple picked up into the air from Lava as Pyoshik trying to get himself out. Hoya throws in a barrel to try and lock down Kingen, but they only get one, and it's going to be DRX.
Fight. It's too risky. And they're going to do something similar here again with this mid push and actually take the, while they defend this, they're going to take the bottom side Drake. Mountain Drake looks like it's just going to go over without a hitch.
That's too easy. Fredit Brion sort of kept left napping a little bit, but the arrow's going to connect. This is what we were talking about. Flick comes back, a very dead Bao. And I like that. Look, they didn't manage to pick up the Drake. They didn't manage to set up for it, but they certainly took a timer on that cleanse and said, we got it, now let's kill him. Yeah. So we can celebrate that one for Fredit Brion.
Yeah, I mean, you wave mid, try to take that Baron Vision away. It is working out slowly.
Yep, we're going for a force though as Kingen, not with very much of a Narbar, but does still have a lot of his health as he takes that Lantern, Lava. You go back to his Unbound Soul as the flash has to come through. The triple flay comes out from Becca, who's still trying to be a hero. Bao not quite getting enough damage there from the Moonlight Vigil as the barrel comes down as a bit of a fadeaway there from Hoya as the Gnar comes back. Kingen trying to be a hero. They grab the Seraphine, and once again, Becca's there with the save. Body slam from Hoya gets himself to relative safety, and the house is going to miss for the moment. But this is the power of DRX. The couple of minutes, and let's just see whether DRX can capitalize. As Kingen, he's found Hoya, and he's a problem, man. This Gnar is huge. And the rest of Fredit Brion could be in trouble. Hook is going to go wide there as that's the flick over the wall. Bao tries to keep himself alive, but he ain't gonna. Henna now goes golden. Kingen is going to look to deal with him. The crunch comes down. And that absolutely worked out there as Lava gets walloped. Should be able to go back to his Unbound Soul, and he's just CC'd forever. Becca going to go golden as well as Fredit Brion looking to make their way out. The sleep comes through once again, and the ulti has to be used to get Lava to safety this time. And now Chieftain could be in trouble, but Kingen not going to chase into all of those pebbles, where it's like it hits mid-game and they're like, we're not going to participate in the map anymore. That's not what we're about. We want to try and fight you guys. And they've just given things basically just over to DRX.
So meanwhile, they're just going to stand here and get hooked instead. Okay.
Wow, really nice hook. Coming out onto Chieftain, who should be able to make it out to relative safety. Goes golden as Henna trying to keep them away, but no. Not going to happen, and now Kingen's made his way in. This guy's gigantic. He's got himself a BF sword at the same time as ulti comes through from Lava, but immediately he has to hop back. Don't know whether that was the ulti that he really wanted at that point in time, but sometimes you got to try and make a play, and Fredit Brion decided that now was the time. As DRX now just looking to try and take down this Baron, and they should be able to do so. There's no jungler on the map, and Hoya's like, yeah, ain't gonna be me, boy.
Yeah, he's like, I could cast them all into the wall and then die, but maybe I'll just push mid instead. Maybe we'll just do that. The follow-up hasn't been there.
Yeah.
There's another one.
That's a goal right there, as you can see. Oh my god, Bao caught out of position. The shockwave hits no one, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't go down as Kingen gets a double ulti back. Great play as well, as Chieftain is well and truly dead. Bao doesn't want to walk through the pebbles. He's just going to wait that one out, so he's not going to be there for the rest of the fight. But DRX just looks too strong, and by DRX, I mean Kingen looks too strong as Lava goes back to his Unbound Soul, and Kingen's just like, I got a GA, man. I don't care about this at whatsoever. And they're going to take down this inner turret and continue the push. The Baron, of course, is still theirs. And yeah, I just don't know what Fredit Brion is supposed to do at this stage.
Lava, you know, he doesn't have his ultimate, so he's flanking here, but for what? He's just going to stare at them from the side. He actually has to use his Unbound Soul to try to clear the minions and push them back. This looks like this might be the push to end it, if they can get a strong engage here. There's no more tools. They blew everything in that last attempt in the mid lane. And it was a good idea, right? I mean, they had the cast flank, but it's not enough.
Oh, there's another Gnar. Just goes in and gets Henna. Just takes him out. It is going to be the GA, most likely pops, but no, actually no. Never mind. This Gnar is just too huge. Still going in, and the GA goes down. Hoya is going to answer, but he is way lower and doesn't really have any means of being in here. Does have to flash, gets himself out, and actually did have the stopwatch Zhonya's combo, so kept himself in status for a very long time as Becca looking to come home. That's going to be a dissonance to help him out there as Lava trying to get forward and does lock him down with the ulti. But I don't know whether he's going to be alive and Bao is going to take him down. The first death for Lava is a bit of a sad one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big compelling moment here for Fredit, but you still, this is your only chance, right? And they're going to try for it. Like, this is, you got one chance left in this game, and to survive, to prolong the game. It's not going to, like, win them the game. Here we go.
Well, Wall is going to wall them off. I actually really like this play. It's very cute. Bao comes in. Moonlight Vigil does a lot of damage. It is going to be the Baron secured, but can they actually win the fight? As the ulti comes in and Lava disappears. That was an odd one. Bao is going to flash, but immediately Chieftain's going to make it over the wall as now Hoya goes for a bit of a fadeaway jump shot and does get himself to relative safety. Empowered back will make it so that the Gragas survives, but that's a couple of Barons now in trade for most likely a Nexus at this point in the game.
Yeah, that is going to be it. I mean, look, I think it was the only thing they could have tried to do. And they executed it about as well as they could with the Talia wall. It's just not enough. They're just too far behind at this stage, Atlas. And yeah, this is going to be the push to end. A Baron for a Nexus, never what you want, but they didn't have any other choice. They had to try for it.
Yeah, big shockwave comes in. It's going to be Becca that steals away the kill. I think this Thresh has been fantastic so far this game. 12 out of 13 when it comes to kill participation is fantastic for a game approaching 40 minutes. The Nexus will go down, and DRX, despite, you know, being up against a difficult lane in the Ashe Seraph-oriented variant that he did have in the last game, and it is going to be the Alistar. So we've got a bit of a jumping castle from Fredit Brion, a lot of knockups. They have. It's real sad, real sad. By the way, to anyone who's still confused in the chat or anything like that,
look at how long this tether goes. It's really terrifying. So they don't get a kill, but really nice trade overall.
That's a big flash engage, and Hoya's just going to look a little bit silly at the back end of this one, but no, he's actually got Umpty, who will turn up and try and save this one, King, and we'll see how many Umbral dashes he has.
Pioshik's
trying to get in here. In goes Pioshik. It will be Kingen falling down, but can Pioshik actually answer this one back? So far, the answer is no, as Hoya's just trolling him in the minion wave. Oh no, it's the saddest little...
Going mid, which is what you would expect. For the first time, it feels like he's finally really firmly taking control of that. And unfortunately for DRX, there's no way to trade this back, and actually trying to engage now would be a terrible idea.
Culling is going to be respected, and Lava will walk out with about 200 health. Still, I mean, he's having a rough day today, is good old Lava. Tower will fall down towards working out for now. And this is the Samira fight that I believe DRX are going to be looking for. It is just a back to come down from the Kalista, though, so not really interested in fighting for this Mountain Drake, and Fredit Brion understanding they don't have the correct positioning, but at this stage, it's still a bad thing, right? Like, they should have been trying to get towards a Mountain Soul, but just dropping the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you delay his back so much. That's why you push it so hard. They're getting other advantages on the map at the moment, you know, with the push we're seeing from Lucian.
Like you can! I mean, what are they doing? But here, the Baron is getting taken down extraordinarily low. They've got a Kalista for the lockdown as well. These sticks can be pulled out for a lot of damage. You can see all of them are in there, and that's just a free Baron. Yeah,
they didn't
we do
contest
this.
enough.
We do gentleman's agreement, Wolf, okay? You get an objective, we get an objective. It's like an episode of Oprah or something like that.
Well, it certainly didn't have to be that way, but DRX were not quick on the draw there. And that was a really nice Weaver's Wall, to be fair, to make sure that it was, you know, a lot tougher for them to re-engage all that. And you know,
hula hoop around, doing some exercises. If you've been in Korea, if you're ever in any of the, we sort of have public gyms sort of thing sometimes. A lot of them sort of like in parks and things like that. But there's often just hula hoops just hanging around. That was that reminded me of that. As Solka just sort of throws that one in.
We've
got a Weaver's Wall to break off Pyoshik. He does, of course, have his quick draw. He gets over that wall very comfortably. And yes, the pacifism is going to continue. It feels like there's never going to be a fight, Wolf. I just don't think anyone's ever going to fight each other, ever.
They have to,
got a
though.
dash, so the light's never going to be able to find him. Becca now over the wall. Hoya's going to turn up.
There we go.
In. That's going to bring back Pyoshik. And finally, there's another kill. The Graves falls down. The culling comes in. Bladewell's great. But the flash forward from Henna. And that is a dead horse clothes lady. And that is 2 kills. Is this just going to be the end of the game?
It could be.
2 kills, and that's it. Fredit Brion, no Baron left available. But now they're looking to break open this base. And this gold score starting to really balloon out of control, despite the fact that there hasn't been any action whatsoever. I feel like DRX's trade of Mountain Drake #2 for the Baron may have just been the worst decision that they've made.
They just barely did. The rotation was a little bit too slow. And it's kind of led to this cascade effect here for Fredit Brion, where they just get everything on the map because they've had control for so long. Baron fight that's on our terms instead of just, you know, trading one. Or just constantly walking away from it when they have these advantages. They're being proactive for the first time in this series. You love to see it. It's going to have to continue. Well, this game's going to go on for a lot longer.
Yeah, King is trying to get some work done here, as you can see. Just trying to frontline as best he can. Henna is going to have a big target on his head, as well as Lava. They get rid of those two. It is likely that should have a better time, but there's still damage coming out from both Hoya and Umpty as well, as Hoya's gone back to his damage build once again. DRX in the Baron area, they do manage to get some control, but this push down the mid lane with the augmentation of some super creeps is going to be strong. Kingen now finds himself alone as he dives on in. 3-man knock-up with the 3rd Q. Great, as now Becca gets delivered into Hoya. Kingen is going to go down, though, but has he bought enough time? I think the answer is going to be no. It's a double kill for Henna. The S rank ain't good enough. Make that a triple. It could be the quadra kill, but no. Hoya is going to steal that one away, and I mentioned that it might have been over before. I think it could definitely be now, as Umpty puts the last couple of rocks into Rel, and that's going to be your Omen ace.
Very impressive engage here for Fredit Brion. For the first time in this series, they take Baron control vision back. They push mid with the super minions. And this time, they're not just running it down mid. They're forcing an engage in mid that successfully leads to a team wipe. And then bringing this series back to a 3rd game. For some really nice counter engages to the Alistair. But yeah, they take that over the Rel, which was never banned away. And that's going to be the option they go with.
Bye to the Kindred. Not going to make his way over again, though. And we'll see whether Delight's just going to be able to do it again. Doesn't quite have it off cooldown just yet. As Pyoshik looking for a potential dive. This is dangerous as Delight gets a headbutt onto Becca. He's going to flash, gets himself out of the way, survives for now as he drinks through the potion.
They were pinging for another dive in the bot lane, but this time Umpty is here. They can actually cut Umpty off. They don't have vision. And this is actually a really nice engage here already for Delight.
Yeah, big knock-up, headbutt back onto Becca. He is definitely dead. The stick's going to get pulled out. Umpty turns up, and no follow-up re-engage or anything like that.
It was like, close your eyes for a second.
Well, we're back in live. That's the Gnar into the wall, but Delight not going to quite make the distance, as Kingen going to get at least the stopwatch out of Umpty for the moment. And DRX just going to get to work on Shelly.
Yeah, slow rotation up for Henna, who actually got that wave pushed. There's nobody in the bot lane. He's pinging it out there, but obviously they know that. They're right here in their face. Everyone for DRX really wants this Herald. Really good delay here so far for Fredit Brion. He's coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be stolen away there, as you can see. Immediately, Bao is just eliminated. Great cast for the delivery as the flash in from Umpty's trying to get himself towards some decent sleeps, but only lands it onto Solka, but that's the target they wanted. Umpty grabs that kill yet again, and Pyoshik trying to dance his way out of here.
DRX can trade back, but I feel like the team fights here are going to have to be cleaner for DRX against this cast play from Hoya.
Yeah, Hoya's just being a little bit too good at the moment. I feel like the Gragas has been very high value. Even in the game that they lost, he wasn't. As Umpty's just like, yes, goodbye. I didn't even want to kill you. I didn't need to kill you.
I mean, there's
no
no
question mark thing comes in as well.
Yeah, there's no cleanse on Bao, so I think he probably could have just killed him there, but interesting.
Yep, thinking about maybe utilizing that ultimate in a better scenario, possibly in a team fight, not wanting to give up that extra power, as the inner turret's going to get charged here by DRX, so that's at least something that they're adding back, but Fredit Brion will be able to take down the outer turret on the bottom side of the map, and that's going to be much better than just a bit of chip damage onto an inner turret. Doesn't really get you too much, especially if that pressure is going to... they're definitely in a good position right now, currently 2.5k in the lead. A few other mythics coming in here, as Strybreaker done for Kingen. Possibly a fight, though, as there's the Justice Punch. Good taunt onto Delight, but immediately the Fate's Call comes in, and you can see Pyosic's out of position. The heroic entrance might actually just be a death sentence, unfortunately, for Becca, who has to flash out. Hoya immediately there is going to answer as the cast comes through, but it just is going to take Becca on a ride, but he still just walks back in and dies to lava. Still, Hoya is going to be taken, so not exactly for the Fredit Brion team. Teleport here towards the bottom side is Hoya. Oh man, I might have cast a cursed him real bad, as he could be out of position. Pyosik going to be pushed back though, as Hoya's just going to have to try and drink and hope that everything's going to be okay. It's not going to be though, as Kingen's going to be able to get Mega Enough, finds it with the last hyper proc anyway, and no one's going to be saving him. Lava here towards the top. So Bauer's a bit late on the Bladewell as well, but it's still not quite enough space being bought. So it's going to be okay. This Cloud Drake under fire from DRX, but it looks like Umpty's going to be able to get in here, and it looks like DRX are just going to be a little bit too nervous to take this one. It's 3 versus 4 at this stage, as Umpty can actually flash over this wall if he wants to. Gonna go golden first, let the rest of his team arrive, but eventually does have to flash. I believe that was a Zonya's, so it doesn't really lose out on too much. Not level 1, Kingen still with his teleport available, as he's slinking up from the bottom side and doesn't actually have to teleport in or anything like that. DRX get inside track on this outer turret in the mid lane as the rest of Fredit Brion wanting to start a fight. Just going to take a little bit of poke damage, otherwise not too much more. Solka has to flash to get out of the way of the Cullen Chaos Storm. Going to be the answer, as there's the Unbreakable Will Delight. 3-man pulverize is good, as in goes on. Sleeps absolutely everyone. And now Fredit Brion are just going to take them one after the other. Kingen relatively low health, but does have the Mega Nut, pushes a bunch of them back in as Lava will be taken down, and now it might be Bao's turn to finish off this fight. Henna trying to bounce around, but it's a triple kill. And finally, we see the DRX marksman actually do something.
They're finally able to do something here. They're finally able to take this fight. The longer fight is made for something like a Victor and Samira to pop off. You know, the trade that they had there when the fight got really scrappy, when it got really skirmishy there in the sleep hit, it felt like, okay, this is Fredit Brion. They're going to take this back. They're going to win this fight no matter what for sure. But in those scrappy fights, that's what you end up with, is Hoya is just barely going to be able to sustain himself up enough to take this Drake, it looks like. But again, a Baron trade for a Drake, that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty different situation, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Not going to be the same as last game, so not nearly as egregious, but still a good move there from DRX, and finally Bao able to get himself the advantage.
Who are the best ones that you're going to want to have in a skirmish like that, because their damage output is just insane. Even with the Victor not having the flash, they've got range, and they've got that seal the deal damage that's going to come in with the Inferno trigger.
Yeah, not to mention Collector picked up as well. All of the confirmations on the kills, real nice. Double siege minion here, trying to be protected by DRX as Kingen down towards the bottom side. Just this 4-1 working out relatively well. Nice sidestep on the cask there from Kingen. Make sure that he's going to be okay. As no, that was just a barrel, never mind. Just think that I'm seeing things as the inhibitor is going to be taken down. I'm just desperate for some action, Wolf. I want R buttons to be pressed, and they're just not.
In a moment
hopefully. Fredit Brion, are they going to do it?
I mean, Fredit Brion are going to have to.
Takes a bit of damage. Okay.
They have to be aggressive here. They're going to lose another inhibitor.
I mean, the inhibitor turret's going to go down, and DRX now trying to push forward. Fredit Brion still. Trigger hasn't been pulled. They've got all of the R buttons available, but none of them are getting pressed, and they'll lose 2 inhibitors.
Can't be slow here if you're Fredit Brion. You're just going to watch your base go away. You're going to watch it disappear in front of your eyes. You're going to watch the series disappear in front of your eyes. DRX Don't push the issue any further.
Sure they can get something done, but here's the hard engage. Hoya looking for the flanking play. Pyosik possibly out of position, but now Hoya has to deal with him instead as Becca over to the side looking for that big taunt. Heroic entrance, though, will be interrupted. Becca's pretty tanky at this point in time, though, and the front line's not quite there. Hoya goes golden, though. He's buying the time, looking for the opportunity. Kingen can't necessarily get back into this one, and it's just one kill, but it might be enough to stave off DRX for now.
Kingen is trying to back as quickly as he can. The sleep is still available here for Umti, so DRX need to be careful about this fight.
But they do have the Callista, so they are going to be able to take that one down. As in goes Kingen, gets the ulti back onto the members of Fredit Brion. Heroic entrance as well to augment the CC, and that S-Rank ain't going to do it. Oh dear, this could just be the end for Fredit Brion, unfortunately. DRX find the team fight, they find the Baron. Hoya finds his Zhonya's, but he'll also find the Death Chamber.
Very, very back and forth and close game, and another heroic attempt here in the late game for Fredit Brion to turn it back. But at the end of the day, more decisive play around the Baron once again for DRX. They're able to take that fight there as they turn away from the Baron and onto Fredit Brion and close this series out. A series that was much closer, I feel like, than it needed to be, but it ends up being DRX in the end.
Yep, if you're a DRX fan, you're not exactly going to be the most excited, but still, a win is a win, and you can see on their faces, they're like, nope, this ain't it. This is not the sign